Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Our research-backed videos are engaging, easy to follow, and they help ease the daily challenges like agitation and anxiety so that you can focus on connection and joy. Available by subscription on mobile and TV apps, Zinnia makes every day a little bit easier. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Alzheimer Speaks Radio. I'm your host, Lori La Bey, and I'm so excited that you're joining us today. We are going to have a fascinating conversation, as usual, as we learn from people all around the world at all ages and stages of life. Stay tuned as we shift our dementia care from crisis to comfort.
Here we go. What you think about, you will bring about dementia change. We will.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to Alzheimer Speaks. And we are doing an episode on Echo's Insights. And Echo was recently diagnosed, and I'll let her introduce herself, but she is just so fabulous and so giving and so honest in terms of what's going on and how she's sorting this all out and moving forward. So Echo, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, everybody. I'm Echo Bodine. What do you need to know? I don't even know what to tell you. A lot of you already know of me because of my career as a psychic and teacher, author, and I've been on TV and radio a few times. My career goes back 60 years, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And last fall, I was having terrible migraines. Some days I was having 2 in a day, and I thought, okay, enough is enough. So I went off to a neurologist, and because, let me just backtrack a little bit, when I had been at other doctor appointments over the last 2 years, and I would say, my memory is really weird. Everybody would basically say, well, you are 75, you're 76, now 77. Okay, all right. And is there anything I can do? Well, not really. You could try, various supplements, and I did, and nothing was changing. So I went to the neurologist about the headaches. And when I was in her office, I said, the other thing besides the migraines is my memory is not normal. It's really weird. And she said, casually, okay, well, let's do some blood work and rule out a lot of things. And I thought, okay, I had no idea what she was talking about. And then I went back and saw her 2 weeks later, and she said, well, Echo, there's a reason why your memory is like this. You have Alzheimer's. And you guys, okay, Alzheimer's. I have Alzheimer's. Okay, that's people that forget stuff. Okay. But you know what? My first reaction was, oh, thank God, there's a reason why I am the way I am. It's not just because I'm getting older, but there's an actual reason. And I honestly, that whole day, I felt elated. Like I had a reason why I was like I am. I mean, I have gone way past the walk into a room and forget why you were there. I mean, I was now putting a post-it note. Okay. I grab a post-it note, right on when I go in the kitchen. This is why I'm going there. And I had it on my palm and I'd go in the kitchen. I go, oh, that's why. Oh, okay. I was way past that point. And then she explained there's 4 kinds of Alzheimer's, and the kind that I have is called APO44, and that one is the worst. It's like, okay, all right. And I just thought, you know what? I can't think about that right now. I just can't think about this. And bless her heart, she was a wonderful person. She gave me a ton of information. And when I left, I did not remember anything except I have Alzheimer's. Okay, so went back 2 weeks later and we had another session. And then she just slowly broke things down for me so that I could have a better understanding of what I'm dealing with. And then what we did, so many people said to me, you should get a second opinion. And I thought, really? I mean, you think that that was a mistake that they came up with that? And she said, let's do a PET scan. Okay, so we did a PET scan. Oh, and she said, yes, it's definitely confirmed you have Alzheimer's. So now it's a journey. It is, it's a journey. And I'm so grateful that I know Lori, who can help me understand. I mean, when I talk to Lori, she goes, oh, yeah, that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that. Okay. It's like I'm talking to somebody who understands what I'm trying to say. And something else I want to tell all of you out there that you might be thinking, oh, dear, do I have it? Because I've had many people come up to me in the last 2-3 months saying, well, you know, sometimes I can't find my keys. Do you think I have it? And it's like, you know, one thing the occupational therapist said to me was, okay, Echo, if you have a day where you can't find your keys, don't freak out and say, oh my God, I'm getting worse. Okay. He said, everybody is forgetting everything these days. And I just wanted to hug the guy. It's like, thank you, because I do have days where I can't find my keys, but then I can remember other things. And so I think the key is not to panic. And now the other day, a person approached me and she told me some serious things that she has forgotten. And oh my goodness. And she said, do you think I should get tested? I mean, I wanted to get in the car and drive her to the doctor immediately because this lady has definitely got Alzheimer's. I mean, oh my goodness. Okay. So don't panic. If you think you might have it, you can find it out in a blood test. Yes, I know this is a new thing. A lot of people have said that. Well, what do you mean a blood test? Yep, that's how they do it now. And it'll show the different degrees of Alzheimer's. Maybe you just are in the beginning stages. So for all of you out there that are listening to this thinking, you know, I did lose my keys the other day. Or if there's others of you that get in your car and you start driving and you have no idea where you're going. Okay, you might want to pull over on the side of the road and wait until you get some clarity. Okay, so those, I mean, from one extreme to the other, but I think it's really important. It has been really important for me to at least know what it is, and then I can deal with it on a daily basis. So, Lori, you asked to introduce myself, and as usual, I just dive right into the conversation. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sending it back to you now.
No, it's wonderful because people get a really, thorough picture of what's going on. I will say, again, I agree. I think it's good to go in. One year I partnered with a home healthcare company. We were out at our state fair and we were doing just some basic testing for people, kind of the clock test and things like that. One woman came back the next year and she said, I am so thankful that I came in and I did this test. And she said, because I had a brain tumor. That's what they found. That was her issue. It wasn't Alzheimer's. So it can be a variety of things. She was okay. They got it out, the whole 9 yards. But it can be dehydration. It can be simple fixes too, mixed vitamins. So again, but that need to know instead of going fear-based, because there is so much help and support out here compared to what there used to be. People are at least having this conversation. When my mom got diagnosed, which is, over 40 years ago, people didn't even know what Alzheimer's was. Dementia wasn't even a term that was used, And so things have changed dramatically. Care has changed on many levels. Communities are becoming dementia friendly. I mean, there's just so many cool things that are going on. And with people like you who are willing to share their experience, it helps so many others. Because, so often people think, if I have it, I'm end stages. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm drooling. I can't communicate. And like my mom lived 30 years, with the disease. The last 3 were tough, but she had 27 years, so it's just one of those things, and everybody is different. Just because you knew somebody with dementia doesn't mean yours is going to be like that.
Yes, honey. Yes.
It may have some similarities. It may not. Today we talking about time and kind of this new perspective that you have regarding time, which, time is such a critical piece because it decides how we are going to journey through this life, dementia or not. How are we going to use that time? So why don't we start with prior to diagnosis versus what you figured out how to live your life now. So how did you live your life prior to diagnosis?
Oh my. Okay. The thing that comes to my mind right away is, well, it came to my mind, but now it's gone. That's okay. Multitasking. There we go. Big multitasker. I had 5 things going at the same time, could handle everything. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. On track. Yep. On time. Everything was great. But that was, honey, that was the main thing was I was busy, teach classes, write books, do psychic readings, do healing. Boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden, that all stopped. It all stopped. And I think that was the biggest shock to me was, wait, I'm not able to multitask. Wait, what happened to my brain? Okay, that's what I was noticing was I used to be able to, I could sit here for 2 hours and work on a book, and then I could get up and go teach a class. And honey, suddenly everything changed. Like, wait, I can't do all this. This is too much. And it was just even trying to picture how I used to function was hard for me. What? It was, it was quite a change from the way that I was to now. And I think that's the most important thing that has changed, honey, is I can't multitask anymore. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'm actually grateful. I really like this new way of doing one thing at a time. Holy smokes. It's like a whole new world to me not to do 5 things at once. No wonder I was always stressed. But now it's like, oh, I just have to do this right now. And I mean, honey, if we were talking 2 years ago, okay, so I'm doing a podcast, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about, okay, And then I'm taking notes of what I have to get at the grocery store, but I'm still doing a podcast. And oh gosh, great thought. So I've got a thought, another posted over here of a thought I want to include in the book, but I'm still doing a podcast. Okay. And then, oh my gosh, I forgot to feed the squirrels, but I'm still doing a podcast. Okay. Honey, my mind could do all that and a podcast at the same time. Now, podcast. That's it.
Well, and it's interesting when you said, the stress of doing all that multitasking. I know I grew up major, multitasker too, and I'm starting to pull back from that, and I'm starting not to feel pressure from time frames that I just thought were really critical. And the world hasn't, well, I shouldn't say the world, my world hasn't exploded, but and it hasn't moved things, but everything was just always so urgent.
Yes.
In that multitasking world. And I think when we grow up in that, we don't even know that we're stressed and we're wired high because that's all we've ever really known.
That's right.
How to do it. And so when you back out of that and just focus on this one thing, forced or not, forced because of a disease or whatever, or out of choice, there's a whole different feeling in terms of what you're doing and what you're putting into that thing you're doing.
Want to keep God's word with you wherever you go? The King James Bible Study KJV app by Salem Media makes it easy to read, study, share, and pray daily with the timeless KJV translation. Enjoy features like offline access, audio Bible listening, smart search, and tools to highlight, bookmark, and take notes, all designed to keep your Bible study simple and organized. Best of all, it's free to download in the Google Play Store. Growing your faith every day. Search for King James Bible Study KJV and download the app today.
Yes.
As well.
Yes, honey. It's changed so much. And I got to tell you, Lori, I'm grateful. Honey, I'm grateful that I can only focus on one thing at a time because I put my whole self into it and I don't let myself jump. Well, even if I tried, my brain is just like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not jumping over to the next thing. And I'm not going to think about the third thing. Mm-hmm. We're going to think about this thing. And wow, that has taken a little bit of time to get used to. But now I'm used to it. It's like, okay, one thing at a time. Yeah,
and it makes sense. And you're still completing, you're still having purpose, you're still moving through your day. Yes. Nothing's exploding because you're not all over the board scattered and stuff, yes. Which I always felt was my big fear. Like, if I don't do all this, things are going to crumble. And I'm like, yes. Boy, how egotistical is that? And I never, of course, looked at it like that, but I do now. Like, geez, Laura, you're not that important. The world will still spin. And I remember my mom telling me that, the world will still spin if you just slow down.
Okay.
And that was when she had her dementia and she saw me still kind of flying around, doing things. And I'm sure she was feeling that because she was a huge multitasker too. Okay. And she couldn't do that anymore. And I think during her dementia, I think she was trying to teach me to do things better and be more present because I was way more scattered than I thought I was.
Okay, honey. Oh, I get it. I totally get what you're saying. Yes. But honey, don't you think part of it is just society? There's this pressure on us to do it all. We just do it all. So, okay, we don't stop and think about it. We just do it. And then at a certain point, a lot of us just crash and we don't know how we got there. And it's just goofy. And I see it in others. I talk to my sister and she'll be talking about a trip she's going to take in October and trying to figure things out. It's like, October? Oh, what is this? Is March. And I'm so aware of it in other people now, where before I would have thought, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Think about that today, kind of. But you know what I mean, honey? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just so aware of it in other people now. All the things they have to do, or we think we have to do every day. And It's changing. It's changing.
Well, and I think too, it's not even just doing it, but it's the immediacy of doing
Yes.
it that
Yes.
society has pressured us to do. It's like, I have a
Yes.
call, I can't let it roll to voicemail, I have to grab it. And I got a text, and no, I have to respond. And
Yeah.
and it's like we don't value ourselves in terms of what's going on in our
Right.
own area.
Yeah.
I always felt like I was answering to everyone else. And I didn't know I was doing that for a long time, but I was putting their priorities ahead of my own priorities. And then
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
would wonder when I would get overwhelmed. So I can totally see where that can be a gift to slow
Yes.
down, focus on one thing, because
Yes.
we don't have to be all things to everybody.
No, no. And honey, you know what? This sounds crazy, but I feel kind of lucky because I can say to people, okay, I have Alzheimer's. I've slowed down. If I don't get back to you today, I have notes. I will get back to you. I just have to do things differently. And people, honey, people are so respectful of that. They're like, oh my goodness, yeah, get back to me when you can. But I'm like you. I used to think, oh, I got to answer that right now. Oh, I got to do that email right now. Oh, I got to plan that right now. No, I don't. No, that's what's changed.
It seems like the dementia has given you kind of new boundaries to live within
Yes.
that are more calmer and peaceful.
Yes.
And when you let people know, they're respectful of that. I think part of our problem is we never kind of had the balls to stand up and tell somebody, I can't do that right now.
I know, honey. I know, because they would think, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's what I always thought people would think. What's wrong with you? And boy, that's something you and I talked about last time in the interview, was how the importance, oh my God, the importance of telling people the truth. Honey, like I said in our last time together, I can't imagine not telling people what's going on. I can't imagine that. And yet, people have warned me, oh, don't tell people, they're going to think ill of you. It's like, I don't really care. And of course I care, but I don't care. And I just need to be straight with people. This is why I might forget to get back to you. This is why I don't remember your name. This is why I had somebody come to me last month at an open house, and she said, remember, I've been taking classes from you since the 80s? And I stood there, my brain was blank, and I said, no. To me, we just met at the last open house. And she burst out laughing and said, I've been wondering all along, do you remember me? And I said, I remember your face. I don't remember your name. And I don't remember that you've been taking classes since the 80s. But I'm really glad you're still in my life. And she just stood there staring at me like she didn't know what to say. Like, okay. But honey, I can't tell you how freeing it is to be able to say to people, okay, my brain doesn't work like it used to, and I've slowed down, and I do have Alzheimer's, but I'm doing all the right things, and I'm staying at a certain level, and just so that they know why I might disappear, okay? Why I might forget to call them back or answer them back. It's like it takes this big pressure off of us that you and I are actually talking about right now, the pressure we've always felt as women to be able to do all these different things at the same time, honey. And so to just be honest with people and say, I have Alzheimer's, my mind doesn't work like it used to, the burden is gone. So for anybody out there who thinks you might have this, find out. And if you find out you do have it, tell people. Don't feel alone in your disease. It's even weird for me to think of it as a disease, but that's what it is. So share it with people. And you can also help educate people. My family. Well, what does this mean? Are you going to forget us? Well, let me dive into that and see what this means. We're all figuring this out together. And honey, the thing is, it's like you say, it's not like when your mom had Alzheimer's. It's different these days. We can talk about it these days. And they're not sending me off in some home where I can sit in a wheelchair and just dribble and not remember anybody. No, it's all very different. So I encourage anybody that has it and you think you should keep it a secret, don't keep it a secret. Do not. You will feel so much better. You'll feel included in life, not excluded in life.
Well, and it's kind of like, as we live our life, there are some people that are in our life and then they disappear because they don't align with us. And there will be some people that are just too scared of it.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, there are some people out there that still think, is it catchy? I mean, I've still heard that from people. And again, the need to educate, or emotionally they can't deal with it. And the emotions can be, gosh, I don't know how to support Echo, or I'm scared I might have it. And if I'm around her, that's going to make me look at me more. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to avoid this.
Oh, honey, how sad.
But there are those scenarios and stuff out there. And then there are some people who, might not have family or a big circle of friends and they feel really alone. True. But there are a lot of resources that they can tap into to still get the support and create that, that peer and family feeling through support groups and activities and stuff that will really, really help them along. There's even groups for people who live alone, who don't have care partners. And then there's groups for people with dementia and their care partners. So there's all kinds of information out there. And I think it's really healthy to encourage people to have these conversations, but we have people who don't even tell their kids, and a couple will just keep it to themselves because they don't want anyone to know, or they won't tell their best friends because they're afraid they're going to lose them. And, good friends are going to stick with you. And I loved when you were telling the woman who's, been taking classes since the 80s with you, like, I remember your face. I don't remember your name. I don't remember you taking my classes. And, there's a program called Speckle that came from, I want to say it was over in the UK. And my good friend, Cindy Lazinski with Dementia Together down in Colorado, is now training people in the US on the Speckle program. But she talks about how memory can be affected, which is really interesting, where you lose the data points. You lose the name, you lose, I've seen you since the 80s, but I remember your face. And when you lose those data points, and this, as you progress, I have found to be very true. You lose the data points, but you still have the trigger feelings. So when you talked with her, you felt safe, you felt comfortable. That was a good thing. And, that's really what we want from people and for ourselves, is to feel safe and comfortable and accepted. And all the data points really don't matter when we really get in our heart set. That's the critical piece, that we're comfortable together. We like one another. And,
that's right.
And so getting people to understand that, so often people will say, like, with your family, are you going to remember us? I'll share a couple of stories on that for my own personal experience. So my mom ended up living in a nursing home. And she would kind of gather with her group of lady friends. And then there was kind of one little curmudgeon that would never join them. And she'd sit off to the side. And I would come in. And every time I would come in, my mom would go, and there's my mother. And she takes such good care of me. And this little lady sitting off to the side, she'd yell every time, Dorothy, that's not your mother. That's your daughter. When are you going to get that through your skull? And then my mom would look at her and chuckle and go, oh, I have Alzheimer's, And one day I was with my older brother who didn't visit often, and he came with, and he heard this whole scenario, and he goes, doesn't that just piss you off? He's like, she does that to me too. How can she not know me after 50 years? And he was really frustrated. And I said, well, Mark, okay, we'll start with your scenario and then we'll go to my scenario with Mom. I said, your scenario is this. Mom has gone back in time. So before she was married, before she has kids. And if you look in the mirror, you look like Uncle Chuck. That's why she thinks you're her brother. I mean, he looked identical to Uncle Chuck when he was younger. And I said, that's a compliment. She loves her brother. So go with that. You are a person she loves.
Okay.
Just keep it that simple. And for my scenario with my mom did not have a good relationship with her mom because when she was, I think, 15, her dad had a major heart attack and died. Grandma kind of had a nervous breakdown, and word in the family was she just took off and she kind of traveled the country and she left my mom home alone. Oh, now, yeah, you couldn't get away with that today, but back in the day, that's what happened. So my mom felt very abandoned, was not close to her mom.
Yes.
And so I told my brother, I said, it's an honor that she's calling me Grandma. Okay. And that she's somehow healed that relationship through our relationship. Okay. She feels cared for. So that's how I framed it, instead of going off the deep end that this is a horrible thing and she doesn't know me and she didn't like Grandma, but she was so proud that her mother takes such good care of her now. Oh man, that's really sweet. And so, it's us entering their world and what's going on and not putting ourselves first in our emotions, because typically, people with dementia, they're not attacking us. They're not pushing our buttons. It's our egos, in my opinion, getting in the way of why not, why is this happening? And I think we have to look inside at why does this hurt us so much? Yeah. What are we missing by having our ego stand so strong and not being willing to look at where they're at and what they're really saying to us, looking at all their multisensory communication where they're happy and they're calm and they're, they want to see us, they want to be around us, instead of just holding on to one thing like they got my name wrong or they didn't remember.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription. Yes. Yeah. It's such a... Well, I agree with everything you just said, honey. That was really cool. It was really cool that you're so open. What would the word be, honey? That you're so accepting of where your mom's at, where she was at, instead of why isn't she paying attention to me? Why isn't she being my mother? Why isn't she asking about me? Why? I think that's really cool that you were able to go to that place. Well, it's a choice. You either look for alternatives or you be sad and depressed and mad. Yeah. And I didn't want to be in the sad and depressed and mad. And I knew she had a disease. So why not learn more about it? Yeah. And then, there's this phrase, walk in their world, enter their world. And also that once you've met one person with dementia, you've met one, because every single person is different and going to react different.
just like every single care partner or family member is going to act different because we have different histories with one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we live in a world where it's like fit in a box. Everybody's got to fit in the box. You're categorized here and you're going to fit in this box. And it's like, no, you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
It doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work well anyways. And then there's damage, along the way trying to hammer that in. So
I know.
I think it's just, for me as a care partner, it's allowed me to grow and be more accepting, not just of my mom with dementia, but everybody in my life. And I'm not perfect about that. I go off and I judge still too, but I'm much more conscious of trying not to do that.
Yes.
And be more and give more unconditional love.
That's so cool, honey. So cool. So cool.
Now, one of the things that we had talked about too was kind of prioritizing your time. Like you had mentioned with your sister, she's doing this trip in it's March and it's not till October. And a lot of people, dive in and they want to know where everything is going to be. And, and then in this world too, it's like, well, is it even going to be there? Is it going to be blown up? Or, can you travel there? There's so many dynamics. So I'm kind of on the spontaneous spectrum myself, unless I'm traveling for business. But, people always talk about bucket lists and things that they want to achieve. And some people physically have them. Some people store them in their mind. Some people share that with friends, all these things that they want to do. And many do them. But many just talk about them, kind of like saving your money for a rainy day. And, everyone's going, it's raining. It's time to spend your money. And you're going, no. It could get worse. Yeah. So what's your thought on bucket list and kind of living in the moment and enjoying things, stepping into new things?
Honey, first of all, I don't have a bucket list. I've learned not to make a bucket list just because life always seems to take a left turn when I'm thinking I'm going to go right. So I don't have a bucket list, but a couple weeks ago, I had this inner knowing to teach a psychic class, an in-person psychic class, which I haven't done for a long time. And I remember my first thought was, maybe I'll do that in the fall, because that's when everybody wants to learn, is in the fall. And then it's like, pay attention, Bodine. You don't know how you're going to be in the fall. Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't. Okay. So I should do this now. Well, this is what you've got is now. Oh, wow. Okay. And so what I did was I waited for a day to see if it still felt like that the next day. And when I woke up, it was the same message, teach an in-person psychic class. Wow. Okay. So should I set it up for when? March. Oh, okay. And honey, that's how I do stuff now is I get inspired and then I just say to God, say to the universe, say to my intuition, whatever you want to call it. I just say, okay, I got the idea, but now I need some help pulling this together. And then ideas come in. Oh, that's a good idea. And that's something really important, I think, for all of us with this, is that we don't know how we're going to be in the fall. We don't know how we're going to be in the summer. We don't know. Well, right now it's still considered winter, I think, but we don't know how our brain is going to be in the springtime. So we need to focus on now. And what can we do now? Okay, because right now, my mind is clear enough that I could teach a class. And so I guess it's don't take time for granted. That's become so clear to me. Honey, yesterday, a lady emailed me and said she wanted to schedule a reading for June. I emailed her back. I said, honey, it's March 3rd. Yes, I need to schedule for June. So I emailed her back. I said, please contact me at the end of May, and then I'll know how I'm doing and if I'm still doing readings. I have Alzheimer's. This is how it has to go. Oh, she emailed right back. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you for telling me. I'll contact you in the end of May. Okay. So I think for all of us that are dealing with this, we have to stay in the now instead of, oh, I'm going to plan this. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I want to do a cruise. Oh, I want to go to Egypt. No. What do you want to do today?
Mm-hmm.
That has been just pounded in my head for months now, that this is all we've got. And, everybody gets tired of saying a day at a time, but honey, you and I both know that's the reality of our lives is
Yep.
Right now, this is the day we've got. We can't plan tomorrow. We can plan tomorrow loosely, but I guess just don't hold on to it too tight. Are you picking up what I'm laying down here, girl?
Yeah. Well, and I think too, sometimes when things don't turn out and we've planned them, and then there's great disappointments.
Yes.
Like, oh, I put all this work into it, and stuff.
Yes.
And yet I know a lot of people, especially people with chronic illness, if it's dementia or something else, that decide they're going to create a bucket list because they've never really done all the things they've talked about.
Okay.
And many of them do really good, and they just kind of tick them off.
Good.
One at a time. They don't do everything at once, but they've identified, and then they've talked with their family or friends, and they plan sometimes 1 to maybe 3 or 4 bigger things, depending on where they're at with what's on their list, and funding, it's always an issue. But a lot of them are doing have decided to do a lot more travel, or reconnect with family and friends around the world that they haven't seen. Others have, started hobbies and things. So everyone's list is different. It can be big, it can be small, and it can be no list. And you just do what comes to you, like you said.
Yes.
And then I love when you say, how do I know? You're going out to source again. If it's God, if it's the universe, somebody else, doesn't make any difference. But you're not in it alone. And you're waiting for confirmation, and you're really relying on your intuition, which I think so many people have pushed down and not believed in, that they have the confidence or the power to make decisions.
I know, honey. Honey, if I didn't have my intuition, I'd be under the covers every day, and I would peek out to see if it's daylight, and I'd go right back under. Honey, if I didn't have my intuition guiding me, no, I couldn't do this. And oh my gosh, it's where all my ideas are coming from, all my inspirations are coming from. Oh, I can't imagine going through this without intuition. I just can't. So for anybody out there that's got this, I highly recommend that you start paying attention to your intuition. Read books about it. Understand it. It's like the coolest thing we all have is this inner knowing. Guys refer to it as their gut, and women refer to it as knowing. Women say, I don't know, I just know this is what I need to do. That is intuition. So just pay attention to how you talk, and that's how you'll become aware of, was that intuition or was that a thought? Just listen to your language when you're talking to people. Well, my gut says we should put that plan off for now. And people will say, well, your what? Your gut? Yeah, my gut. Well, that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
Some people will go, yeah, I think I know that feeling. And other people say, oh, that's hooey. Okay. And if women say, I don't know, I just know. I just know. Okay. Oftentimes there is no logic to intuition. It's just It's a message that comes. It's an inspiration that comes, just like in-person psychic development class. Really? I haven't done that for years. Yep. Now, okay. Oh my gosh, honey. I can't imagine. I can't not imagine living with this and not getting the inner guidance that I do.
Now, some people don't know how to tap into that intuition. And, for me, it's getting quiet, which I kind of have a noisy life, and so I have to be purposeful in terms of doing that. Years ago, when I sold real estate, I would shut my door and tell my assistant, don't bother me, don't call, don't knock, don't let anybody down the hall. And I would close my blinds. I'd put on some music and I'd light a candle. And for 20 minutes, it was just quiet. And then it was like, okay, I'm grounded. I'm not feeling overwhelmed, and I could go on and do my work, and I would get ideas as well as, how to move forward with things when I was struggling with things at home. I find I have to be still and turn off the background noise and all of that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I get distracted, like I'm ADHD, or all of a sudden I'm starting to sing the song, or I'm, watching the TV show. When I'm sitting and trying to be quiet, I can get distracted, or the dog barks, or it can be anything, So is that something that you recommend? Is just really, because some people are really comfortable with quiet and being alone with themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people have a hard time with it, honey. You know what I do? Because I'm like you, I get antsy. My feet start moving. I go, is it time yet? Can I be done being quiet? And so what I do is I get on my recumbent bike, and I turn on some music from Pandora, and I close my eyes and I just ride. And I'm not focused up here. I'm focused down here. I literally talk to my stomach. I talk to my intuition and say, have you got any guidance for me today? Anything I should focus on today? And really, honey, then I listen to the music. I stay in this really sweet place. I don't even know how else to describe it. And then when the bike tells me I'm done, I open my eyes, and I've just gone 5 miles, and I've gotten some inspiration, or maybe I didn't, but I sure feel better. And that works for me, doing it that way. And I used to do it when I was on my treadmill until my treadmill broke, and then I got the bike. But it was good because my mind kept my hands on the bars so I wouldn't fly off. And I would close my eyes, literally, and just walk the treadmill and talk to my inner voice. And I would get inspiration, get answers.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, and I think sometimes too, people don't realize that you can ask for guidance even when you're feeling crushed.
Yes.
And really lost. And I'll give an example of that. This is kind of a funny story. Again, it had to do with my mom. But my mom was had to be assisted out of bed by this machine called a Hoyer lift, where they put bands around your wrist and a belt around your back, and it pulls them up. And I was standing outside her door one day, and she was just really, really combative. just with the staff, and there were two staff, and they were ping-ponging back and forth, and they were staying so calm, and they're like, Dorothy, it's okay. We're just going to get you out of bed, and we're going to bring you down to lunch so you can visit with your friends. And my mom wasn't having any of it. And they were just back and forth, back and forth. And I'm standing outside the door listening to her swear like a sailor, just ripping them in half. I mean, she was just madder than a wet hen. But I'm standing outside the door and I'm just crying, and I'm thinking, this is not fair. She does not understand what they're doing, and she's scared to death. I'm just like, God, please give me some guidance. What can I do to make this better, to remove her fear?
Good.
And as I did that, I pushed open the door, and the staff didn't even know that I was there. And my mom didn't either, because it was so loud. They didn't hear the door open. And all of a sudden, I literally felt this arm go around my shoulder. And my dad, who had been dead for many, many years, whispered in my ear saying, ask her to go water skiing. And I'm thinking, okay, if the bed next to mom is open, I guess that one's for me, because I'm totally having a nervous breakdown. And then I sat and I fought with it for just a few seconds. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Because what they were telling her to do was to bend her knees, have her arms straight, and they were going to push this button and it would lift her up. And so I marched up to the bed, and my mom was like leaning back and just fighting. And I said, hi, Mom, and she looked at me, and she went from totally mad to this big smiley face, and greeting me. And I said, Mom, do you want to go water skiing? And she goes, yeah, that would be great. And I said, okay, then bend your knees, put your arms straight. And then I said, hit it. And they pushed the button, and she lifted up. And even though it was the bands around her wrists that was pulling her up, my mom was gripping a tow rope. And that worked for months and months and months. And, then I would come in and have a conversation with her. Like, what are you doing today? Oh, I went water skiing. Did you go barefoot? Did you drop one? Did you spray anybody? And that was just part of none of that happened, but I entered her world.
Okay.
And, and it was fun, but it was like, I just thought I was going to crumble on the floor. It was just so hard for me to hear how terrified she was. And it was a crazy, crazy thing to hear, like, oh, yeah, like she's going to go water skiing. But I took the risk, and trusted my intuition.
Okay.
And it was, a staff was just, they couldn't believe it. And then, one day it kind of came to an end, and she was fighting. And then I tried something else, but it just wouldn't apply,
Okay, honey.
But that really, so many times I was able to tap in, because it was just beyond me to know, what to do and how to do something. And it gave me more faith going forward, that if something is crazy, is somebody who can't, really walk anymore, I'm asking if they want to go water skiing. I got to open up my mind, to ease her pain and give her comfort and bring back some joy. And it was just very simple to do, once I was open to it.
Honey, that's such great advice for people. And the fact that you asked the universe for help, and your dad stopped by and gave you the answer. That's so cool. It's just so cool.
It was very cool. Very cool. Well, anything else that you want to add to our conversation today? I think this has just been so helpful.
Honey, okay, stay in the now and do what you can do now. Like I meant with the psychic classes. Yes, my mind is clear now. So teach now. Don't wait. Don't put things off. Just really be in the now. This whole thing, live a day at a time. Yep, that's what we've got. Our minds are clear today. Do it today.
Wonderful. Well, Echo, it's always a pleasure yapping with you. You're so gracious in terms of sharing and helping others. I can't thank you enough for that.
Honey, that I have to. It just feels really important to connect with other people. It just is. So, yes, guys, anybody that's got this, come on, don't be sad about it. Don't be sad. You have no idea. My doctor keeps saying people live like this 20, 30 years. So it's not a death sentence. That's one thing I want to tell everybody. It's not a death sentence. I even read that on Google. Google said it's not a death sentence. So there, we know that's the truth. So yeah, honey, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to come on and talk to others that are dealing with this. It just feels really good to be able to talk about it. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, and what I love about our conversations is they're good for people who are worried about themselves or someone else, or if they're diagnosed, or if their family or professionals dealing. It just gives them insights on different ways to approach and look at things.
That's right.
And it gives them hope, which is the greatest gift of all.
Yep, it is, honey. It is. Thank you. Thank you for today, honey. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our audience, I always ask you to be givers of hope. Like, click, and share. It doesn't cost you any money to share, and it takes very little time to do. But getting this information out to your own sphere of influence can really impact a lot of people in your world that you might not even know are thinking about this topic. And when they see it from a trusted friend or resource, it's just easier for them to click it open and check it out. So we appreciate your support of the community. And again, just be a giver of hope. It's a wonderful thing to do. In addition, I encourage people to go to Alzheimer Speaks, check out all of our free educational resources. There's a ton of things out there, as well as our sister company, Dementia Map. And if you have a service product or tool that you would like added to Dementia Map, you can do that very easily, just going to dementiamap.com on the home page. And if you'd like a tour of all the site does for you as a business, I can help you with that. Both Alzheimer Speaks and Dementia Map are free to use. You don't have to make an account. You don't have another password. We're not tracking you. So we just want easy access for good, solid information to help you along your journey. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
It's time to rethink, renew, and reimagine retirement. Hey, everybody. Jared Sebesta here, host of Retire Repurposed. Now, this podcast is about the non-financial parts of retirement, which many times can be even more challenging than the financial. We believe retirement is not the end, rather the beginning of what could be the most impactful, purposeful, and fulfilling season of a person's life. So don't retire. Become repurposed. To listen now, search Retire Repurposed on your favorite podcast platform, Senior Resource, or Life Audio.